Hey friend, welcome. Guess what? Today is the day. Today is the day that we launched myself, you, all of us together, Cosmic Wealth Collective, and I'm so excited. I'm seeing the sales come through and it's like, ah! But I wanted to first ground us in the moment. So I shared in the launch email a screenshot of my chart and the transit chart of the very moment when I sent out the email, okay? And that was like 7:37 a.m. or something like that. You may have received it like 30 minutes later because it was timed. So I wanted to show you what this chart is about and why I chose it and what it means for me. And so let me make some adjustments here with my face. All right, I got all that situated. Let's begin. So the reason why I picked June 8th at 7:37 a.m. for this to launch is because it gave me a great opportunity to position my own chart around it. Now, electional astrology is a craft in itself. It's not one that I practice. I look more at transits, okay? Others can pick more of like what is the great day. And one of those people that I follow is Chris Brennan. So, anyways, this chart here shows my chart with the outer wheel is the transit and the inner wheel is myself. Now, the first thing that I want to understand is for this moment when I launched it, where was the rising sign? And the rising sign was Cancer. And so all this stuff here on the bottom right is being highlighted for me, which is my fifth house, which is also where my sun and my Mercury lives. Mercury is very much of a wealth, quote unquote, planet because it has a lot to do with communication. And guess what? Also, commerce, conversing, talking, negotiating, right? We all do that, whether we are trying to negotiate for a bigger salary or to launch our business. Either way, we're using Mercury. And for me, Mercury is a very important planet in addition to obviously those parts, but also because it rules my Venus. And Venus is about magnetism, values, resources, and also in many cases about money. And so I have this activation of my own creative efforts being supported and seen in this abundant, juicy, relational, comforting, emotionally safe area that will bring about abundance. Hence why this is a great area for me to have a launch to highlight my own creativity, my own creative efforts. Now, the other big thing that happened during this time is looking at where the ruler is. Well, what is the ruler of Cancer? That would be the moon. I was going to say Mars. No, the moon. And the moon in this transit chart is at 18 degrees, or was at that moment 18 degrees of Pisces conjunct the midheaven. All right, this is the most public space of self. And here again, I am supported because guess what? 22 degrees is my rising sign. So I am getting this lit up of the emotional connection with all of you during this transit. Then I look to see, well, what else is interesting and supportive? So, yes, the first one being the Cancer rising, because that's where Venus and Jupiter and Cancer are for attraction, which is wonderful, right? So this launch gives this launch has this warm, abundant, emotionally intelligent signature that is rolling out. If you notice the images, I mean, gorgeous, right? The sales page. My friend did such an amazing job. And so this speaks to the membership supporting and being built around nourishment, money confidence, timing, emotional safety, and feminine financial wisdom, which is what I wanted. Now, the transit of Venus and Jupiter conjunct my natal Mercury, that's one of supporting of selling through one's voice, all right, being supported. So that my words can actually feel more resonant with you more than usual. So this is great for the emails that I'm doing, my sales posts, my live videos, my invitations, teaching, and explaining the value of the membership. And so what I'm showing you today is what I am looking at overall on a monthly basis is as we gather the data, right, for each month for the rising sign for you to get your report on how to apply the weather of the planets to your financial abundance efforts. And then separately, there is the whole like, hey, by the way, like you can actually heal these areas. You can look at these parts of your chart that may not be like optimal, and you get a report for that too. And that's called the Cosmic Wealth Blueprint, as well as a mini course that teaches you about the main six placements that we're looking at for wealth for the membership. So, if I continue to speak clearly and repeatedly, then humans will want to listen to what I'm saying and perhaps want to buy them. And I think so, right? So, this is a great transit for that. Now, the other big one is the transit of Mercury with my natal sun. So this would be Mercury down here at 10 degrees and my sun as at 8 degrees. So this speaks to becoming more of the face of the offer, right? Myself. I can't hide behind like some obscure area and hope that my offer sells. No, this helps me to be the face in front of the product. So because I can't just hide on the sales page and hopes it goes well. So my personal story, my own wisdom, what I have to share, and my emotional intelligence is the experience that others will be receiving as I am sharing this information. So my audience buys the container partly because they trust my interpretation. The other big piece about this, as I mentioned, is the moon conjunct the ascendant and midheaven. This gives intuitive public visibility on the big scale. So this is beautiful because this is a spiritual-esque launch. So this is getting amped up as well as supported. And it actually supports a beautiful emotional storytelling, mission, dreams, symbolism, testimonials, and rituals for the messaging that I share, the container that I create. And so this is why I'm sharing this all so that you know, like, this is how it's translating. This is the vibes that I'm feeling and inclined to. Yes, my coach was like, Carolina, you should create a video and explain this more in depth. And I do. This is what I was intending to do, to share this also tomorrow the 9th, I will have a cosmic wealth or wealth oracle draw for people at noon. So come to that. But this video really is to help you all to understand my decision points as to why I picked this moment versus the one later on tomorrow when the actual two planets of Venus and Jupiter come together very closely. So then the other piece is transit sun and conjunct my natal Venus and trine my natal moon. This adds to the audience appeal. So here's the sun at 17 degrees and my Venus is at 22. They're 5 degrees apart, but the sun is pretty large, okay? And it has a lot of energy. So I'm going to give it a wide berth here. And it's trining my moon at 12. Again, a little bit of a wide angle orb, but it's still applying to it, or actually it's separating in this case, but it's still resonant. So this supports being liked, received, and seen as charming, insightful, and relatable. That Venus and Libra energy that I have, it is especially useful for community-led offers and community-based offers. So this is one of those containers. So not being overly harsh, but also like really tending to being more of that feminine, perhaps affiliate bundle energy. And I hit up my affiliate list last night, and they have all the goodies, so they'll be hitting up their list, and so perhaps there'll be more tickets sold tomorrow when the public part comes in, as well as during the wait list. And so also it speaks to attracting women who want something that is beautiful, meaningful, and emotionally intelligent with their money work. So, what are the challenging parts and what are the things to note of this chart? So, no moment is ever perfect, okay? Let me express that tremendously. Every single moment has some sort of challenging part. Rarely is it 100% perfectamundo for whatever goal it is that it's intended for. I'll give you another perfect example. At the end of the month of June, right as Jupiter starts to go into, we have Leo season right after that. Right as Jupiter goes into Leo, we have Mercury retrograde, and we also get a full moon in Capricorn. That's a lot of energy, right? And people would be like, oh, yes, Jupiter's going into Leo. It's going to be a perfect moment. Well, maybe. We're going to have some, like, our minds are going to go inward. And so while we should celebrate and make that a big day, we also have to be mindful of the things that are happening. And so this transit chart, just like the ninth, and this is why the eighth was picked over the ninth, has less of that charge of the challenges that any transit could potentially have. So for me, this would be Saturn square my Mercury in Cancer. Saturn is at 12 degrees. Well, actually, it's Saturn square. The Mercury in this transit would be the 10 degrees. So Saturn at 12 degrees, Mercury transit at 10 degrees. So this gives a thing perhaps of messaging feeling heavy or pressured. Perhaps I become like second guessing my sales pages, my pricing, my emails, whether the offer is clear enough. Do I make things even simpler? Do I make things do I make sure that my call to action is clear? This is over explaining and perhaps spinning out because I'm not certain of what I'm communicating. So this is a mental check. I've already had that experience. I'm pretty clear that my sales page is very on point. Transit conjunct my natal Chiron in Aries. All right, so this is a big one. It's only 1 degree apart. Here's Saturn. This is my Chiron. And so this speaks to putting some sort of pressure on my money wounds. And sure enough, it is. All right, this can bring up fear around charging, being taken seriously, perhaps income inconsistency, or whether people will pay me. And what's funny is because somebody just purchased their membership and then went back, canceled one, and then bought another. So some of this stuff can really like manifest through other individuals, and then I start second guessing myself. And for sure, I see that happening of this mental game and the wound within Chiron in my second of feeling feeling like I can't ask for what I'm worth or stand for what I need. It's a long journey, okay, friends? It's a long journey. And then transit square my natal Mars. So Mars is at 15 degrees. My natal Mars is at 21 degrees. So this is what's called an applying aspect. So Mars will eventually get to 21, but it won't be in the next day. So this is a tension point, and it speaks around wanting to create urgency or being irritated or scattered action. So I may want to do everything all at once. Yes. I'm definitely feeling like I need to do the emails. I need to do the TikTok. Oh my God, I need to talk to them about this. How about this one? Oh my goodness, I need to do this or that. So there's a lot happening. So instead, I just need to sit back, listen to my body, do some affirmations if I have to, and then take one step at a time and not allow that tension to build up. Lastly, the sun in the transit chart in Gemini is in the 12th house, which can bring about some confusion or behind the scenes overwhelm. So perhaps I'm having too many ideas, too many angles, or too much of everything. So for me, I just need to continue being seen, like doing lives like this, doing a video, and making sure that others are I'm answering others people's questions, all right? So, and helping the message be spread, which is the Cosmic Wealth Collective helps you use astrology to understand your wealth patterns and make better money moves each month. That's it. It's as simple as that. We don't need to complicate it. Now, Taurus in Mars and Taurus sextile the moon in Pisces is supportive, but it's not like a big burn, okay? So here's Mars and there's the moon and there's a sextile. This just says that community building and grounded invitations, nurturing things, all of this will be practical, very slow steps. My buyer may need some emotional trust before joining, so we'll see as the day goes on. So, overall, this is a very aligned chart for me for a spiritually rooted wealth membership, especially because the transit is lighting up my fifth house Cancer placements and my natal Mercury. And so, the strongest thing that I could be doing here is just lead with emotional um, intelligence, uh, intuition, and sensitivity, and trust that things will work out. That I continue to sell through clear communications. That I continue to keep my offer simple without any confusions. To let the abundance symbolisms that are available through in the membership and bring that out through the launch, right? So that would be showing pages of what people are getting, that would be doing a video, things of that nature, because it can't really replace the overall sales page message. So, and it shouldn't, right? I can't allow just symbolism. I need to actually show what's happening in everything that I'm doing in the sales page. I can't replace what's happening with the sales page. I shouldn't tweak it. I shouldn't like constantly finesse it. Just allow all of those things come through from what I've created and stop doubting it. So, my make yourself myself visible is a big one. Continue to sell through storytelling and emotional clarity is another big portion of this. And then emphasizing that, yes, you, the buyer, are going to be receiving monthly support, timing, and money guidance to build up that confidence for yourself. And keep my pricing and founding member details very clear. It is $15 a month, $150 per year, or $375 for the lifetime membership, which once you pay that, you don't ever pay again. And avoid me rebuilding anything. Like, I don't need to do a mid launch anything changes. Just keep going at the pace that I'm going and listen to my intuition. So, this is why I have launched my membership at this time, because if I allow it to launch on the 9th, even though there will be a public launch, but the official launch was today, the public launch would have pushed these transits even further and creating a little bit more chaos. And this day really is one of the best when it comes to the overall conjunction. They don't have to be at the exact point for things to be valid. All right, that's another big one for people to learn. So I can't wait to see you inside the membership. Ask me questions. I'm going to put this on YouTube, inside the community. You'll get an email, all the good things. I am so happy that you are here. Thank you for supporting me, and I am rooting for you in your financial abundance and wishes in life. Take care, friend. Bye.